Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. What defines an individual human life? At the core of each of us is a set of attributes, values, and beliefs that makes us distinctly different from one another. I was reminded of this recently as I attended the funeral of my wife's Uncle Alex. Everyone said an overarching phrase, and they said, Alex was remembered because he was kind and generous. Kind and generous. What a nice thing to say. But the people saying this were not just being nice to the family. They were saying what really was a phrase that encapsulated this man's life. I wondered, was there a phrase that encapsulated my life? Was there a phrase that fit me to a T and could describe me at the core of my being? Perhaps it is through my family that I will be remembered when I die. My family is composed of 5 of us. My wife, Janet, of 30 years today. She's a quiet and gentle soul. She likes to work behind the scenes, always making sure that everything runs smoothly. Very competent person, very nice and sweet. Son Jonathan is a medical student and a breakdancer. An interesting combination. I have 2 younger ones, Nathan and Carissa, both that are national level Olympic style archers. And they have represented the United States in archery competitions overseas and in the United States. And they've helped many younger ones achieve their archery goals as well. All of us are Christians, following in the footsteps of my grandparents, who came from Japan in the early 1900s to seek religious freedom and their opportunities here in this great land, America. Maybe it will be through my $1 million education that I will be remembered. But if so, I would like to ask, in the words, borrowing the words from songwriter Marvin Hamlish, who am I anyway? Am I my resume? Having attended the very best schools of engineering in this country, my path led me to become a professor at ASU, to receive tenure, and then to finally leave that position to become a consultant in the biomechanical field. Has all this training influenced me? Of course it has. But has it changed me at the core? I think not. Like renovating an old building, the bones of the building, as the property brothers might say, are intact. And they remained unchanged despite all the things and new tools and techniques that have been added to my repertoire. I believe it's through recreation that the core of my being is most readily seen. Given the time and freedom to choose anything to do with a day, what have I chosen to do with my life? My mother raised me with the attitude, Gary, if you're going to do anything, do it well, or don't do it at all. My life then became a series of lessons, practices, more lessons, and more practices. At first, I learned judo, and that importantly taught me how to train my body to follow whatever my brain commanded. From there, it went to tennis, golf, fly fishing, rock climbing, and archery. In every activity I ever undertook, I never dabbled in anything. Every activity I ever undertook, I did it to the best of my ability and got as far as I could possibly go, achieving the highest levels I could attain. But what was it about these activities that revealed the core of who I was? One of my dreams as a young teen was birthed when I read the account of the first clean or hammerless ascent of the northwest face of Half Dome. Wouldn't that be neat to do that someday, I thought. I added it to a list of about 15 things that I had on my list to accomplish before I died. By the age of 25, I had completed 13 of those 15 items, and one of them I had already checked off and scratched off saying, I can't do it because of the way my body is made. So the last item on my list was to climb Half Dome. Hiking to the base of the cliff, looking up at that massive half-mile high face, and thinking, oh my God, have we gone mad? Have we made a mistake? Can we actually do this? The uncertainty only added to the sense of adventure. And by the end, 3 days later, I was overcome with a sense of accomplishment and relief. A career counselor later pinpointed that experience and referred to it as saying, Gary, you're the most happy when you are doing something that you're not sure you can accomplish. Choose your career accordingly. I almost died on that climb. In my haste to complete the last 150 feet of the climb, I went the wrong way, took an 80-foot fall, hit my head on something on the way down, and was unconscious. Had I died that day, I was wondering, what would people have said about me? Who would have come to my funeral? Had I done anything for anyone else in my quest for personal achievement? Had I done anything that was done for anyone else but me? It's been 35 years. Have I changed enough? Who am I, anyway? Am I my resume? Thank you.